Trinity Rodman just made history. She's an Olympic gold medalist, a World Cup player, and one of the brightest stars in American soccer. But for all her accomplishments, she's still being reduced to one thing: Dennis Rodman's daughter. And Trinity? She's had enough. What really happened between her and her legendary father? Why does she want nothing to do with him? And what did she finally reveal after years of silence? Let's break down the truth behind one of the most complicated and heartbreaking father-daughter stories in modern sports. At just 18, Trinity Rodman became the youngest player ever drafted into the National Women's Soccer League. She didn't just make the team, she dominated. Rookie of the Year, U.S. Soccer Young Female Player of the Year, and she helped the Washington Spirit win their first ever league title. In 2023, she debuted at the World Cup. By 2024, she added Olympic gold to her resume. And yet, when she attended Wimbledon in 2025, BBC commentator Andrew Castle got her name wrong, repeatedly calling her Tiffany and pointing out she was Dennis Rodman's daughter. Trinity fired back on Instagram. "My dad's not even in my life, no need to bring him up." But that wasn't just a clapback. It was a crack in the wall she had kept up for years. Because Trinity's relationship with her father? It's far more painful than most people know. Trinity was born in 2002 to NBA icon Dennis Rodman and Michelle Moyer. They were married, technically. But even Dennis admitted, "We won't live together." Michelle lived 2 miles away with the kids, while Dennis did. By 2004, Michelle filed for divorce, though the split didn't finalize until 2012. Trinity and her brother DJ were raised entirely by their mom. Their father? He was mostly absent physically and emotionally. In December 2024, Trinity finally told the truth. He's not a dad. Maybe by blood, but nothing else. Hearing his voice is painful. She said her mom tried to shield them from the worst, but even as a kid, she saw the truth. Dennis was always the life of the party and rarely the man in their home. For years, Trinity stayed silent to protect her dad's legacy. "We've been generous in public," she said of herself and DJ. Even though it hurt to pretend things were okay, they didn't want to drag him through the mud. She acknowledged Dennis had trauma of his own. But she also called him out. "I think he's extremely selfish. Everything has always been about him." Still, part of her kept hoping for a sign that he cared, hoping for that spark that could rebuild their bond. And in 2021, she thought it might finally happen. November 7th, 2021. Washington Spirit were in the playoffs. Trinity was a rookie. Stressed, nervous, focused. And then she heard a voice from the crowd. "Let's go, Rodman. Let's go, Trinity." It was him. Dennis Rodman had shown up out of nowhere. No warning. No call. Just there. They hugged. She cried. And later posted, "We don't have the best relationship, but he's my dad." It felt like a turning point. But it wasn't. Dennis said they'd meet up in DC that week. He disappeared. Again. "Stupid me," Trinity said, "for thinking that was going to be some type of new spark." Over the years, Dennis has made a few rare public admissions. In his 2011 Hall of Fame speech, he said, "I wish I was a better father." In 2019, he told ESPN that breaking the cycle of abandonment was hard. "I never had anyone to do that for me," he said. After Trinity's explosive podcast interview, Dennis responded with a now-deleted Instagram post. "Sorry, I wasn't the dad you wanted me to be. I still try. I never stop." He claimed she was being told not to answer his calls, that he still leaves her voicemails, still tells her he's proud, and still waits for the day she might call back. But at this point, Trinity isn't waiting anymore. Through it all, there's been one constant in Trinity's life: her mom, Michelle Moyer. "People always ask about my dad because of the NBA," she said. "But my mom's been my support system, my rock, and my best friend." Michelle even moved to DC with Trinity when she joined the Spirit. Trinity doesn't just credit her mom with raising her, she credits her with making her the athlete she is. "People say I'm fast because of my dad," she told reporters. "No, my mom was the fast one." Michelle did the work. She made the sacrifices. And to Trinity, that makes her more than a parent. It makes her a hero. Trinity Rodman has proven, over and over again, that she's not just someone's daughter. She's a force of her own, on the field, in the spotlight, and in life. Her story isn't about bitterness. It's about boundaries and the quiet strength it takes to step out of someone's shadow and shine on your own.